guys, welcome back to my channel, and hello if you're new here. Thank you so much for joining. So I've managed to finally get my hands on a TBR cart for one of two reasons. So the first reason being, well, I need to keep track of my TBR. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to build the cart and then I'm going to fill it with all of the books that are on my physical TBR that I've been meaning to read for ages but haven't got around to, because the problem that I have is because I buy so many new books, I end up reading those, and then there's books sat on my shelves I really want to read. I've had them for ages and I just don't get around to reading them. And also, I'm a bit of a mood reader now, so sometimes I find that it's really difficult for me to stay on track with the books that I have had for ages and really want to read and things, because I just look at my bookshelves as a whole and then I just sort of pick a book off of it. And there are so many books that I have genuinely been trying to read for probably the last like 1 to 2 years. And I know I say trying to read, like if you want to read it, just read it, right? But you'll know, I feel like every bookish girl or boy will know exactly what I mean when I say that you could literally look at a book and be like, right, I said a year ago I was going to read you, and then when it comes around to reading it, you're not in the mood for it. So you think, I'll just read this one book and then I'll come back to it. Anyway, so what I've decided to do is literally just put all of the books I want to read onto my TBR cart, so that when even if I'm mood reading and I feel like I don't know what I want to read or anything, I'm going to look straight at the cart and pick a book from the cart. The second reason is because I'm also low-key running out of book space, but in this room there is physically no more space to put any other bookshelves. I've got these two here, and then in the sliding wardrobe behind me there are built-in shelves there. That is full to the brim. These are full to the brim, so we've got a space issue. It's gonna kind of be my ultimate physical TBR, I guess, because these are all the books that I really want to read that are going to be on my TBR for the foreseeable. Obviously there are going to be a few books off the shelves that I might pick up here and there, but I really need to have some sort of order to the way that I read my books now. So we're going to build this. I have no idea how this is going to go because I'm not the best with a screwdriver. In fact, I'm terrible. I don't even know if I don't know. We'll see. Let's just open this box. There looks like a lot of parts to this. Like, oh my goodness, okay. At least there's an Allen key in it, so I guess I don't need a screwdriver. I guess I'll just use the Allen key, but got some wheels as well. I decided to go for a metal one. I didn't really want a plastic one. I think the metal ones look much nicer. And if anyone is curious, I will link below or where I got this cart from. I did get it from Amazon. I did go for black because it matches the sides of my bookshelf. So I thought, I did kind of originally want white, but it would not go in my room at all. I thought black would look best because I'm gonna put the cart here. This is where it's gonna live. Are these stickers? That's so random. Look how random those stickers are. I don't think I'll be using those. I feel like the building the cart is going to take longer than actually putting the books and choosing my TBR for it, to be completely honest. Okay, these are pipes, right? Or is this the... or are these the pipes? Going well. No, they're not the pipes. These are the pipes. Okay. Haven't we? Because this was the big basket and I've just used the middle basket. I'm glad I found that out now as opposed to down the line. I've done that before. I did it actually with these bookshelves where I think I'd put something on backwards and I did like a whole entire side, and then I came back to the other side and realised that I'd done it wrong and I had to take apart the whole bookshelf. So me and Flat Pack, like, we're just not friends, because do you know what it is? It's so simple. But because it's so simple, I second guess myself so much, because I think to myself, it cannot be that easy. Like, surely it can't be that easy. And it really genuinely is that easy, and I make it harder for myself. Yes. Okay. We've got some shape. Sometimes you just need to get going. I find with Flat Pack, like, once I'm in the flow of it, I'm flying. Once you're flying, you're flying. I'm flying. Famous last words. How cute is this wrench? That is adorable. Okay, here we have it. Now let's fill it up. So this is going to live right there. Oh, that is the perfect fit as well. Okay, so starting with some fantasy. So When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I have been wanting to read this for so long. So I am going to put this in as my first book just because, well, I mean, I want to read it. And I didn't actually have a place for it, to be fair, on my shelf anyway, because my fantasy shelf is kind of full, but I do kind of want to prioritise this. I also am prioritising Zodiac Academy, but because I've got a place for them on the shelf, I'm just going to leave them as they are, because I've got books 4 to 9 to read. I would rather just keep that series together. Next book I'm adding onto the TBR as well is A Study in Drowning. I did have this on my sort of like autumn/fall TBR that I want to read before the end of the year, so I'm going to put that on next to When the Moon Hatched as well. Sticking on the theme of fantasy, the Book of Azrael is also on my TBR. I think this was actually picked out of my TBR jar, or TBR, like I picked this out for last month, but I didn't actually get around to it. But I honestly keep seeing so many good reviews and seeing people reading this, and I am so obsessed with like fantasy and dark fantasy right now. You do not want to see how many books are in my Amazon cart, but I'm on a book buying ban and I literally cannot. But pretty much every single book in my Amazon cart at the moment is either fantasy or dark fantasy, because that's just kind of all I want to read at this time of year, especially now that Halloween has been and gone. I don't need to read anything particularly, you know, I don't feel like it's spooky season anymore, so I just feel like I can go back to my fantasy ways. But anyway, regardless of that, I do want to get this. I have got book 2 and 3 that are like on my wish list, because I do want to sort of potentially just read this all the way through if I'm really enjoying it. I find with fantasy books, because they are so complex and the world building, and just once you get into that world, I don't like to leave unless I can help it. So I do want to get books 2 and 3 so that I can potentially just read them all the way through one after the other, so I don't forget anything if I'm sort of like chopping and changing books. So we're going to put that on there as well. And then also this is Vicious and Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. So I again also have had Vicious on my autumn/fall TBR, so I need to put these on here so that they are front and center, so that I keep looking at them, because I do really want to read those books. I've heard amazing, I don't really see that many reviews about Vengeful, to be fair, but I've heard such good stuff about Vicious. A lot of people rating it really highly, and I think V. Schwab's writing is meant to be amazing, so that is a definite. This is a bit of a random, but Midnight Kisses by Janine Benedict. So I nearly read this about a year ago, and I just don't know why I just never got around to it. This is a sports romance. The only reason why I'm adding it onto here is because I do hear really good reviews about it. It's meant to be quite spicy. I think it's like a one night stand forbidden love scenario. I want to use this as potentially a palate cleanser. I've been meaning to read it for the longest time, but I haven't. So I'm going to put this on the bottom shelf, just because I know that I do want to read it, but I'm not really sure when, and I can just reach for it if I feel like I need something different. Okay, now the whole entire Addicted Calloway Sisters series I need to put on the shelves. I have wanted to read this series for so long. There is nothing I love more than having so many books in a series that follow the same characters and couples, and you get this found family feeling and everything. I love those series with my whole heart, you know, where you just know these characters are going to stay with you forever and ever and ever. I think I'm going to put this in the middle section. I need to get this in order. Also, where these books are so big, because these are actually the indie published version ones. I've had these books for like 2 years and I just have not got around to them yet, and I don't know why, and I really need to, because I just hear nothing but good things about this series. That is insanely satisfying to look at. Look at this. Just spin that round. That's so satisfying. Also got Ivy by Willa Nash, which is actually Daphne Perry under a pen name. Again, you've probably seen me pick this out in TBRs and I haven't got around to it. That's meant to be like Pretty Little Liars meets Gossip Girl. That's the reviews that I've heard about that. I don't see many people talking about it, but... And then also we're going to put A Darker Shade of Magic on there, because again, that was in my full TBR, so that's going to go on the top. So we've kind of got some method to the madness here. Actually, I'm going to put Midnight Kisses on the middle row here. Right, so in terms of dark romance, this is Skin of a Sinner by Evina St. Graves. I actually just recently read my first book by this author, which was Death's Obsession. That was only a novella and it was a paranormal romance. And I actually only rated it 2 stars. I didn't really like it, but I am going to try this book. Let's put that up here. Now, I'm going to put the Emily McIntyre Never After series on there. I've read the first 3 books. I haven't read the last. I haven't read Twisted and Crossed, and also Hex is about to release. These are really, really fun palette cleansers, and they are dark romances, and they're like fractured fairy tales. So I wouldn't say necessarily that they're fantasy, but they do give you that fantasy feel. So I do want to read those and finish that series because I absolutely loved it. So let's try and maybe slot these in on the other side. I'll see if they fit, I'm not sure. That's the only problem about the indie published books, is that they're so big compared to traditionally published ones. And also on there I need to put Leather and Lark, which is the second book in the Ruinous Love trilogy by Bryn Reaver. Pretty sure everybody knows and loves Butcher and Blackbird. I haven't heard as many good reviews about this one. Okay, next up I have got the Sugar Lake series by Emily McIntyre. Again, a series that I've been meaning to start for the best part of 2 years now, so we're going to put these on there as well. Yeah, I haven't actually read this yet, and I'm pretty sure Onyx Storm comes out at the beginning of next year, so I'm kind of half going to save it for when Onyx Storm does come out, so that I can just read one after the other. Fourth One was one of my favourite books. I rated it 5 stars, but I kind of feel like I don't really remember every single thing that happened in that book. So I'm sure Iron Flame will jog my memory. I mean, I'm pretty confident with it, but I just feel like there are a couple of things that I definitely have sort of not 100% remembered. And then Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. I haven't read this yet purely because I'm genuinely terrified to read this book. One, because I don't want it to be Magnolia and BJ's last book, because I love them so much. They are actually my favourite couple. I do root for them. I am a Magnolia over a Daisy girl all day long. So I love them, and this is their last book, and I'm so scared after the way The Great Undoing ended. I'm just so nervous to pick this up, and I also don't want there to not be another book in this world for me to go into as well. This is a dark romance, which is Secrets, which is by Sophie Grace. I'm going to put that in here. So also Shallow River by H.D. Carlton. This was a book that was very kindly sent to me by one of my bookish friends, Daisy. She sent this to me for my birthday, which was very, very sweet of her, off of my wish list. This is the new cover as well of Shallow River, which I much prefer to the old one. One of the reasons it took me so long to buy it was because I didn't really love the old cover, but she's recently updated it and I think it's really nice. I need to read this. It is meant to be extremely dark, I think. That's what we like. Okay, so next I've got some books by Pam Godwin. So this is the Frozen Fate series by Pam Godwin. So the first book is Hills of Shivers and Shadows, and then the second book is A Cage of Ice and Echoes, and then I need to get my hands on the first book, which is something like Fire. I don't even know what the other one is, but this is meant to be kind of Credence coded and extremely dark. Definitely want to read. And also Brutal Ambition by Sam Mariano. This is meant to be, well, I mean, I don't actually know. I haven't seen many reviews. I think most of the reviews are from people or my mutuals that I notice read dark romance all the time. Love like Chantal Tessier the Lord series, like The Ritual and The Sinner. Really enjoy this book. Those books are definitely on the darker side. I do enjoy that. It's no surprise and no secret that I enjoy that, but I do find that I can only really read those books. I can't read them all the time, but it's been a while. It's been a while. I'm due a really dark romance, so. And then lastly, this series by Tate James. Now, I have so far only read the Madison Kate. Right, just me being clumsy. I have only read the Madison Kate series by Tate James, but I loved it. I still need to read the Hades series, which I should be putting on the cart. However, for bookshelf aesthetics, it fits in really well with my Madison Kate series, whereas these were sort of staggered all over the place. So I'm gonna put this series onto the TBR cart. It's called the Guild series. So the first book is Honey Trap, and then Kill Order. This is actually the third book, and then Dead Drop, which is book 2. I told you that in a really weird order. But this is meant to be really good. I've heard a lot of people say that this is sort of Tate James's writing at her best so far and things, so I'm gonna put these books in here. She just noticed and seen this duet that I have also had on my TBR for the last couple of months, and it is the I think it's called the Dark Eyes Duet by Karina Howe. So the first book is Black Sunshine, and then it's This Blood Is Love, and these are dark vampire spicy romances. I haven't got around to it yet, so I need to add that one as well. Okay, I mean, I think the cart is looking pretty good, and I love that this cart just literally fits right in there. I'm gonna be honest, the cart feels a little bit wobbly. I think I need to go back in with the Allen key and tighten it up. I love how it looks. I love how it looks next to my bookshelf. I'm so pleased with it, really happy with it. So like I said, I will link down below what cart this was that I got from Amazon. So anyway guys, there we go. The TBR cart is finally built. I'm so glad that I finally got one, because I feel like it's going to help me keep track of my reading so much easier, and there's space on there. I can purchase more books. I'm joking. book buying ban, on a book buying ban. I need to try and get to the end of November without getting any more books, and then do a massive Christmas book haul. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my upcoming content, and I'll see you in my next video.